Alright, Twisted Hatred? Yeah. Ooh, there's my bracers I wanted. Nice. Where are they? Right there? Cool. Classic is all about that teamwork, man. Retail, the retail, WoW 9.0 is coming out. Oh, and 8.3. We learned a lot about that. It's on the PTR right now. With the allied races, with Volpera for the Horde, and the Mechanomes for the Alliance. So I mean, it seems pretty neat, but BlizzCon is tomorrow. Right now it's Thursday, it's Halloween. And I'm sitting here streaming. I think I might actually hold on to this sword and like give it to like an alt. Yeah, I might give that to an alt to start off with. That sounds pretty good. I think I'll do that. Like a paladin, I think, or something. But or here's what I think. I'm gonna go trick or treat. BlizzCon is tomorrow and Saturday, kind of Sunday. But the next 2 days... Oh, dang. What did I get here? Oh, lollipops. 6 lollipops. Dang. It's a lot. Here's what I think. Let me pull up my list. I have a list of things, of predictions, for what I think 9.0, the WoW expansion, that'll probably come out next year. Probably around August, because it's been 2 years since BFA has been out. Well, it's been a year, and then next year will be 2 years. So I have a list of things. I have about eight topics, predictions, right? And I've seen pictures. I've read some things. It can go either way. One thing that I am pretty certain on, is that there's going to be some sort of new zone. It's probably going to be the Shadowlands. Probably something with death. That's my prediction. / probably going to happen. It's going to center around Bolvar, the new Lich King. There's a leaked picture of him. People found on the store. So it's pretty legit. It's got to be something. It's going to new Lich King, new undead. Something's going on. Plus, people have data mined and found... information that the allied races can be Death Knights, and there's probably going to be like a two-handed Frost Death Knight now, probably something with Frostmourne. So probably what is one of my points, there's probably going to be something that deals with the undead in Bolvar. I think what's going to happen is there's going to be the Shadowlands is going to be too full of undead souls, or just shattered souls or ripped souls, and they're coming back over to our world, and the Lich King, Bolvar, the new one, he can't contain them. So he we'll probably have to help him, where it's kind of like a neutral, like you scratch my back, I scratch yours. Probably something like that. So he's not gonna be a bad guy, but it's going to open, like maybe Sylvanas is going to be like trying to take power from him. And so he's going to be fighting against Sylvanas, and maybe a couple, like, major NPCs show up, like Anduin, Jaina, you know, Vol'jin, maybe the Spirit of Vol'jin, right? They show up to try to, you know, push her back, and then you have to be like, whoa, we have to fight the sudden surge of undead. Which kind of brings me to my next point then. My next prediction is that I think that 120, level 120 is way too high. That's crazy. I'm leveling a warrior alongside my beautiful girlfriend. We're playing in retail. I've only managed to go from 1 to 71 in or 72, but I have like full heirlooms minus the ring, plus I'm using the extra 10% because it's Halloween and you can do like a buff for 2 hours to get an extra 10%. I'm essentially leveling at 55% speed. Faster, like an extra 55% of all experience I gain, you know, goes into my character, and I'm still 72. It's crazy. Like, I have so much more leveling to do. I could boost to 110, but why? That's $60, and I personally don't feel connected to my character. But it takes forever to level, and you could probably spend a day getting from like level 1 to like 40, 45. If you just focus on questing, maybe a couple dungeons here and there, but your experience starts to slow down a bit, and you get several levels a day, but you'd have to put in some serious work to level, and it's agonizing to get to 120. And I see why a lot of people just boost, just get a 110. But to me, I like to feel connected to my characters. I actually don't have a character that I have leveled from level 1 to level 120. All of my characters, like I had leveled and got to about the point I am now. I have a paladin, and I boosted that paladin to 110 because of how agonizing it was to just level. It just took forever. I wanted to do the end game stuff. I wanted to get, into the game. And I get it, like, I come back into the game from I didn't play during Warlords of Draenor, and I came back, to play. I want a new character, a new realm and stuff, so that was on me, but I had to use a boost. And I don't want to pay more money just to do that. I think that if they level squish to say, it's probably two things. I think they'll level squish for sure, because 120 is insane. I think it's going to be 60. I think that you either enter the Shadow Realm, or the Shadow Realm, the Shadowlands, and it kind of rips your soul apart, and it reverts you back to level 1, and then you have to go from 1 to 60. Or, it's the same process, but maybe going in there, it still damages you, but not too bad, and you get to 50, and then you have to level from 50 to 60. I still think there's going to be some sort of level squish, down to like a more reasonable level. I'm thinking it's going to be around 60, because then that gives them room for further expansions, further like big content patches to boost the character level again, and you can gradually, rise in levels. So I have that one. There's going to be level squish. I think there's going to be a new zone with the Shadowlands centered around Bolvar, so that's going to be a big major area. One thing I think may or may not happen is I think there's going to be at least one new race. That's my thing. It's been a long time since we've had a game come out, a new big expansion that came with a race. We have lots of allied races, but they're kind of like just reskinned versions of already existing classes. I think that there should be one or two new races, like a big surprise. I don't know what they would be. Murlocs, maybe. I don't know. But two new races, or at least one new race like the pandas that can go either way. And that would just be a nice big like surprise. We haven't had a new race since, I think, the pandas. The Pandaren have been the most recent race. And sure, you could say you have allied races, but if I jumped into the game like, I don't know, say I got the game for Christmas for the first time ever, I'm never going to get the allied races. I mean, I might get the Zandalari trolls, or I might get the Kultiran humans, depending on what side I pick. If I get enough rep and stuff for that. But I'll never really unlock all the other allied races unless I do all that old content. And I don't want to do all that old content. That stuff should be, either purchase me with in-game gold, or it should just be given to us. I think that the stuff from Late Legion, like the Void Elves, the High Mountain Tauren, the Nightborn, all that stuff we should just unlock those and just give us those. So if we don't get a new race, just give us the allied races. Maybe not the Zandalari trolls or the Kultiran humans. People are going to have like a whole year or so to unlock those. Alright, cool. But give us the old allied races. We should be able to play as those and not feel that we're gated behind like some sort of time. I mean, and there's the other BFA, the Maghar orcs, and the Dark Iron dwarves. I mean, maybe those two, I can go either way. All the other ones though, all the older ones, please let me have those. That would be awesome. I think that they're going to revamp talents. I really hope that the talents are going to be like Classic. Classic is huge right now. People love Classic. Many of the streamers are doing Classic. I'm not a huge, I hardly ever stream for anybody, but I'm sitting here streaming Classic because I like it. It's fun. My character, I'm a druid, but based off your little talents, I could be, totally different than another druid. And we don't have stuff like I'm an outlaw rogue, or I'm an assassination rogue. It's like a whole different class. Like, you look at that and you're like, that's not a rogue. You're more like a, some swashbuckling pirate thing, not necessarily a rogue. It's just, we lose our identity. There's just way too many classes in that regard. It should be more condensed. You should have these little talents, you know, for your character as you level, you know, maybe like points, just like this, like classic, you know, where it changes some of your abilities, like depending on what you do. And then maybe at max level, you can take like special max level talents that makes, you know, that just, you know, for fluff, or maybe a few things, but not too much. Because right now in Battle for Azeroth, the talents are just insane with the gear, and they just, you just don't really, I don't feel like my character. I feel like the game is playing, doing the damage for me. Like, I'll hit a button, I charge on my warrior, and I auto attack, but the game's, you know, oh, your lightning proc thing off your armor blew up the enemy, and it did 90% of your damage. And it's like, that doesn't seem fun. That's not me. I didn't do that. So I really hope they you know, take a look at that and fix the talents, or do talents to make us kind of special. That's a prediction. I really hope they take from this and they do that. One thing, and I did kind of see this may or may not happen, but I think they're definitely going to get rid of that Azerite necklace. There's no point for that. I think they're going to get rid of it. And then I really hope that they give us a special weapon like they did in Legion. Maybe not necessarily a named weapon, like a Retribution Paladin isn't getting Ashbringer again. But let us be able, you know, from what I read, you know, let us be able to have a special weapon that's ours. You know, maybe like I can choose as a warrior, if I'm an arms warrior, let me choose between like a two-handed, you know, axe or sword or a mace, and then I can take that weapon and I can like transform it, and I can make it like basically legendary, but it's for me. It is my legendary weapon. Maybe I give it a cool name, and those are kind of things that I think may or may not happen. It gives me something to work towards. If I can find upgrades or, you know, things that I could put into the weapon to make it better, that would be awesome. That's something for me to do at endgame. But the necklace and all those abilities like that, that's not me. But if I have this weapon, you know, that I swing and it does, you know, my damage, even if it's like a super stat stick, like the old weapons, but I had one ability, that would be great. Like give me one ability on a cooldown. Or maybe even like a little passive ability, like Ashbringer could sometimes blow up the undead, or demons, I think it was demons. Give me something like that, you know? Maybe sometimes a mace will stun a target for like a second or something, because it's just so heavy. Or maybe sometimes my sword will attack twice. I don't know. Just an idea. Like, I think they'll definitely get rid of that necklace for sure. Hopefully a sword. Another thing, I'll have 3 more points left, what I think will happen. Definitely, I would say definitely, but I'm pretty certain they're going to get rid of garrison/mission tables. I think those are going to be gone. They are frustrating to do. Not very fun. And I mean, it's just a daily chore, you know, especially when it's gated behind like your class quest. Like, oh, you have to send your followers out on a 1-day mission. You come back tomorrow and you can continue. It's like, well, you know, maybe I can't play tomorrow, but I have time now. You know, I came home from work. You know, it's 8:30. I put my kids to bed. I have a couple hours, you know, but tomorrow I'm gonna be at, you know, home late. You're from work. It's like, well, sorry, you know, you're gonna have to wait another day. That's not fun. When I get on, let me choose how I play. Like, don't time gate me in that regard. Like, if you want time gate me for like dungeons and stuff, I get that. You shouldn't spam that stuff. But there's so much other stuff to do in the world. Like, I don't want to have to sit and wait that I can't continue with the game because I have to send some followers out on a mission that's going to now take me 13 hours to complete. That's not fun. That's not cool. If they did it, but it wasn't impactful to your character's main story, like it was like fluff for Transmog, which I really hope they keep, because I think Transmog has its own special thing. It doesn't affect anything. Your character looks cool, and that's it. Just let us keep transmogging. Whatever they do, please keep transmog. I think that's fantastic. I think it's really fun. It has its own little like market and niche. People go like hunt for certain pieces to sell, or they'll go do old raids for, you know, a certain weapon or a shoulder piece or what have you. That stuff should keep, you know. But if you do missions for like, you know, little pieces of I don't know, maybe for a pet, I don't know, for gold, even for like rep and stuff, but don't gate it behind missions for my character that I can't continue with the story in WoW because I have to send these guys out on a 13-hour mission or something. That doesn't seem very fun. So I hope they get rid of that. Okay, one of the big things, so I've, I'll skip it, I'll save it for last. I hope that they revamp a lot of the old zones. Maybe not necessarily like a big world event like Cataclysm reshaped a lot of things, but maybe like if we enter the Shadow Realm, Shadowlands, Shadow Zone, if that's a thing, maybe like Westfall, Westfall is different, and it makes you still go back to Westfall, but it's a different zone now because now you're in the Shadow Place. That would be kind of neat. That gives you an incentive to go there. Maybe all the zones have a little thing. Well, maybe not all of them. They all don't need to have a thing. A lot of them should. Give us a reason to go back to the, let me come back to this place. Let me do rep, or maybe I could farm for a mount or gear or something. That's all right. Yeah, that's about right. That's about all in there. So let's revamp the old zones. Let us go back. Now the last one, and I really hope they do this. It's now they did it 2 years ago, so they might not do it again. Especially if they're going to allow the allied races to be Death Knights. But I kind of hope there's like a class. I hope there's a new class, something to spice things up. Really, the only two things I can think of. I did hear something that there might be a Tinker class, which would be awesome, and I think that would fit. I was thinking you could have like a mech suit for like a tank spec. You could have like turrets be like a DPS spec. And then you could have maybe like sentry bots or something that would help heal. So you can have all three. Or maybe like the mechs, maybe you just have a mech suit. Like Mechatork and stuff and all the gnomes or whatever. Maybe they could just get in there. Maybe that could be like for DPS and healing and whatnot. I think it's a cool idea. I think it could work. I thought maybe there was a leak or a prediction or something for that. I read that. I'm like, you know what? That's plausible. I believe that. The other thing that I think could happen would be a Necromancer class. And I know we have like a Warlock and a Death Knight. I mean, a Warlock is basically the same thing, but with demons. Death Knight is a melee version, basically, of a Necromancer. But, they can summon ghouls. But it would be nice to have a caster class. I might be another caster, though. But the idea is, they summon undead for their bidding. And you could either have 3 DPS specs, or maybe, maybe it'd be interesting that they tank with a pet. Maybe they're a tank class, but they're cloth, but they have a really sweet pet. And they have to, like, manage that pet during raids. Now, I don't know how that would work, but... a Necromancer, I think would be fun, for sure. Maybe have 1 DPS spec and then 1 heal spec. Maybe it heals by sucking life from enemies or something, kind of like how a Discipline Priest heals through damaging enemies. Maybe this one does the same thing. So, and those are my ideas, about 8 ideas, but yeah, I think that'll happen. I think I'm going to be surprised. I'm not going to see what happens until I come home from work tomorrow, I think. Or I might take a look at work, but yeah, those are my things. Let me know. I'll try to get this up tonight. If not, then I'll put it up tomorrow. It's definitely Halloween. My dying phone here. This is October 31st. Hopefully that shows up. I'm gonna hold it up. Okay, well, I hope so. That's pretty blurry. But it is not November. So those are my predictions. I'll have to try to edit the video and stuff. So that's all. That's all I got for that one. But, down below, be like, hey, dude, you were totally right. Or you called this or whatnot. Be like, hey, yeah, heck yeah. But I just want to throw it out there. I'm doing this while I stream. I stream at twitch.tv/thesteggy is what I stream at. Very casual. Just casual leveling. I have Night Elf Druid on the Faralino server. And then I have a human warrior on Pagel if I want to do a little PvE. But, yeah. That's where I'll be. So, here's hoping I got some stuff right. Alright, let's go. Alright, let's go. I have 24 silver. Alright, let me buff myself. I like how she buffs. I just like her. I just love the female Night Elf animations. It's not so much. So a lot of my characters, I'll just throw this out here. I would say roughly 70% of the characters I make in WoW are females. And it's for a few reasons. It's one that I prefer like the character models of the females a bit more. It's not so much that I want, like, I'm gonna sit here and be like a weeb or whatever and like stare at my character. It's like I just prefer how they interact and how they look. For example, I do like the male Night Elves. I think they look really cool, but I cannot stand their bow animation, and that has turned me off. The female Night Elf has a normal bow animation, and I think them and the orcs were the only two that actually had a normal bow animation. I think the dwarves did, but I never really got to see it a lot either. Yeah, because they mostly did guns, but I liked the female Night Elves for that reason. Plus, I used to watch this guy named Luptis, Luptis. Greatest hunter I've ever seen. He made some videos way back in the day. Set it to the old school, like, you know, the music, late 90s, early, you know, 2000s. Like battle music. He did World PvP. Fantastic. I loved his stuff. But he was a female Night Elf hunter. I wanted to be just like him, so I made a female Night Elf hunter. But there are certain things like, if I'm an orc, I'll tend to be a male in retail, because now I can have them stand up straight. But in classic, I'm gonna turn that off. In classic, I prefer the females because they stand up straight. It's, you know, it's trolls I go either way. Taurens, I could go either way. Humans, I like the female humans a lot. I like the female gnomes because I like the females' hair and their jokes and stuff. I like the male dwarves a lot. And then these guys, I'm probably female for Night Elf. I don't really like much of the Horde, actually, in Classic. I'm not really, except for maybe like the orcs. Yeah, probably just the orcs. Alright, let's see. Let's do this. Heeding the call. Okay, Bear Walker. I think that's probably good. I'm going to do some of my D&D stuff, I think. May or may not look at that video before bed. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, wait. What is this? Hold on. Oh, it's okay. Well, I have a turn in here. I guess I'll do that real quick. Can I turn in as a bat? Yeah, I can turn in as a bat. Fill the amethyst to the northwest and okay, I know where that is. Okay. Well, cool. 16 levels to go. Okay. Well, thanks for tuning in. I had a lot of fun. Aiming to be back Sunday night. Probably. Might grind out a few levels over the next few nights. Get closer to my cat form. So, alright, well, thanks for watching again. I appreciate you. And Astral, I'll see you at work tomorrow. So, you know, make good decisions.